On the southwestern coast of ancient India, two monarchs held absolute power over the Kerala region. In the north ruled the Kolathiri, and to the south the Samuthiri, the Zamorin of Calicut. Their kingdoms shared a tense, heavily militarized border. If you attended one of their royal summits, you would assume they were the closest of allies. They frequently exchanged lavish gifts, showered each other with compliments, and hosted grand feasts in their respective palace courtyards. Behind the smiles and the feasting, they despised one another. Their relationship was an intricate geopolitical Cold War, driven by a mutual paranoia that the other was plotting a sudden, devastating strike. When two rulers hold that much power and that little trust, diplomacy is just a different kind of battlefield. Every casual remark, every polite inquiry, and every shared laugh was a calculated probe for weakness. The tension finally broke during one of these royal dinners. The monarchs were trading pleasantries when the conversation slipped into thinly veiled hostility, disguised as clever wordplay. The Kolathiri made the first move. Feigning a light-hearted joke, he asked his rival a simple question. He took the title Samuthiri, shortened it to its casual pronunciation, Samuri, and asked if the Samuri would gore him. In Malayalam, Samuri sounds like the word for a bull. Without missing a beat, the Samuthiri returned the volley. He pointed out that his rival's title, Kolathiri, literally translates to a burning torch, so he asked in return, "Will the Kolathiri catch fire?" The Kolathiri smiled and warned that yes, the torch might burn, so he should be careful. To which the Samuthiri delivered the final blow. If the torch burns, the bull will gore. In the courts of ancient India, royal words carried absolute weight. This exchange was not a polite joke. The two kings had just outlined the exact terms of their future assassination attempts, right to each other's faces. Several years passed before anyone acted. The Kolathiri made the opening gambit by sending a diplomatic envoy to Calicut. They delivered a beautifully carved, locked wooden chest, along with the key, as a gesture of goodwill. Inside that chest sat a complex, spring-loaded trigger packed tightly with gunpowder. The moment the key turned in the lock, it would spark the mechanism, directing a point-blank explosion straight into the face of whoever opened it. The Kolathiri was making good on his dinner table threat. He had designed a trap meant to literally ignite, ensuring that the torch would in fact burn his rival. He was entirely confident in this mechanical marvel. To the Kolathiri, the chest was a perfect, foolproof execution method against an unsuspecting target. When the chest arrived, the Samuthiri took the key but didn't turn it. He immediately suspected this sudden gift from his oldest enemy. He cast his memory back to that dinner conversation years ago. The Kolathiri had specifically promised a fire. If this box was the delivery mechanism for that threat, the trap inside had to rely on a spark. Acting on that deduction, he ordered his royal guards to take the unopened box out to the courtyard and completely submerge it in a large basin of water. Only after it was fully submerged did they turn the key. The lid clicked open, and water flooded the inner chamber, completely soaking the gunpowder and neutralizing the explosive trigger. The Samuthiri walked away unharmed. The trap failed because the Kolathiri had been too clever for his own good. By telegraphing his use of fire years in advance, he handed his target the exact blueprint needed to build a countermeasure. Time passed, and the Samuthiri decided to return the favor. A royal envoy arrived at the Kolathiri's palace, bearing a similar heavy, locked wooden box as a gift from Calicut. When the Kolathiri received it, he smiled. He knew exactly what this was. He assumed the Samuthiri was playing a tit-for-tat game with the exact same rules. Since his own trap used gunpowder, he reasoned the Samuthiri had sent a copycat explosive device. And because he knew exactly how the Samuthiri had defeated his bomb, he believed that same water defense would protect him now. Confident in his logic, the Kolathiri ordered his guards to force the heavy box deep underwater and only then pry the lid open. The Kolathiri's predictable use of the water defense provided the exact catalyst needed to provoke the contents of the box. He felt entirely secure relying on a proven logical defense, unaware that the Samuthiri was counting on that very reaction. There was no gunpowder inside the Samuthiri's box. Instead, the interior was packed tight with live hornet nests. As the floodwaters poured through the seams, the encroaching water sent thousands of drowning hornets into a blind, aggressive frenzy. When the lid opened, the swarm erupted from the water directly into the Kolathiri's face. He was stung relentlessly, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of the insects, surviving only because his guards quickly filled the room with smoke and fire to beat the swarm back. The Zamorin had kept his word to the letter. Just as he promised years ago, the bull had struck, severely goring its target. By weaponizing the Kolathiri's own survival instincts, the Zamorin ensured that the more his opponent tried to protect himself, the more certain his defeat became. The victory wasn't won through a better mechanism, but through a more accurate map of his rival's mind.